My name is Tengku Nur Syamimi binti Tengku Din. I will start my presentation with the definition of Hibah Takaful. Hibah refers to a giveaway, donation, or gift involving an akad contract that consists of giving out an individual's property willingly during his lifetime on the basis of love and without expecting any types of return, which is iwad. It also refers to the transfer of ownership of an asset without consideration from donor to recipient. Hibah is recommended in Islam as it can help to prevent and resolve property conflicts. There is no explicit law in Malaysia concerning hibah. There are 6 characteristics of hibah takaful. First, an akad that grants a certain party property's ownership. Second, the only type of property that can be offered as hibah is tangible property, is not debt, perks, or interest. Third, a hibah deal is made without any retaliation. Fourth, the hibah contract is valid for the duration of hibah provider's life. Fifth, it is made voluntarily and not under duress. Last but not least, the contract is not made without the goal of rewarding or honoring a specific individual. There are 2 types of hibah takaful, including unrestricted or umrah and restricted or rukbah. For the first one, an umrah is a temporary gift in which the ownership assets are fixed or limited and are based on either the settler's or the recipient's death. It is also an unconstrained gift because it is provided without any strings attached. Next, rukbah is the transfers of ownership from one person to another, whereby if the settler or beneficiary or either one dies, the property must be owned by one who is still living. It is also a gift with condition attached. The properties will be transferred according to who dies first. Hibah takaful have numerous advantages. First, hibah is for capital managing estate and asset management. The heirs requires cash to handle the estate for the appointment of lawyers and incidental expenditures. If the grant is handed to the heir, it will simplify the affairs of all parties. This is because families who get the hibah do not have to go through the complicated procedure of property allocation. The successor lacks the capital or money to pay for property management. The heirs will almost certainly face difficulties, and the situation will worsen as the other family pricked the tongue, demanding their own divisions. There are costs of managing the estate that includes property management charged by trust companies such as Amanah Raya Berhad. Side costs are paid to legal or trust companies, and so on.
Good day, Doctor and my fellow friends. My name is Nur Syahidatul Akmal binti Zulkifli with matric number 288450. I would like to continue with my part, income replacement. Everyone will face death, and every death is different. The passing of a major breadwinner for the family is more painful loss and leaves a huge impact on other family members. This sudden loss not only brings grief, it also results in the loss of all sorts of livelihood and monthly alimony for the family left behind. Expenses for wife and children and parents will cease. The family who was once a housewife may have to find a work to support their family. The children will also have to be frugal and fast for survival. Although money cannot replace the loss of a loved one, but those left behind need financial help to get on with life. With hibah takaful given to your spouse, your family members can live a normal life without being burdened with financial problems. Next, debt settlement. Islam strongly demands the debt settlement in life even after death. The Prophet Muhammad SAW said, all the sins of the mother are forgiven except debt. Hadith narrated by Muslim. The religious scholar and ustads have also advised that debt is the main thing that needs to be resolved by the heirs immediately after the death of a person and his body is taken care of. In the hadith narrated by Bukhari and Tirmidhi, indeed the soul of the believer is hanging due to his debt until the debt is paid. Perhaps your ears can settle any 100 to 200 that you have with your friends. What about greater debt obligation like commercial bank and high-value personal loan? Even if you believe that numerous additional initiatives can be made, including selling a car, a house, or any other property, and withdrawing savings from bank, ASB, or unit trust, but we all agree that this is a difficult task due to your first home, vehicle, and all cash assets will be frozen by the bank. Due to your desperation for rapid cash, you might not be able to sell your property for the suitable amount of money. Therefore, Hibah Takaful is the best way to ensure that your departure does not complicate and burden them. With that, they can use the money that you have left to pay all your debt and get on with life as usual.
Hello, my name is Haiti Nasia. My mention number is 277662. The preceding study shows that the legality of Hibah in Malaysia is still up for discussions. The first legal issue is, can Hibah be revoked or withdrawn legally? After the Hibah rukun and conditions have been met, the property has been transferred to and accepted by the Hibah recipient, who may then claim ownership. However, a legal issue has been uncovered in the context of the options to revoke or terminate Hibah. Generally speaking, there are three ways to satisfy the cancellations of Hibah. The first one by awarding father to grandkid or grandpa to grandsons. The second one by the existence of resignations jointly between the donor and the recipient. And the last one by the judgments of the judge. Based on many court cases, a person or an attorney may dispute a Hibah before a Sharia court either orally or in writing. Only if the content of the Hibah is contested by a beneficiaries, or if the Hibah is invalid under Islamic law, may it be challenged after the death of the donor. Donors have the right to revoke Hibah made to their children and grandchildren at any time. Hibah given to heirs or non-beneficiaries who are not children or grandchildren, however, can never be revoked. Not only that, the Hibah cannot be revoked under any circumstances if the property has been sold, wakaf, or Hibah from the Hibah beneficiary to a third party. Next is about the fairness of Hibah, which is another question from the view of legal issues on Hibah regarding the allowable rate or limit of Hibah. In principle, there is no limit or a certain rate in the Hibah contract. Since the Hibah property is the property of the donor, there is no barrier to the owner to grant part or all of his property. Yet another considerations are also well thought out, such as fairness if the Hibah is given among the children of the property owners. Hibah will be sunat if it's done equally between his children to guarantee justice, and makruh if it prefers one child over the others. In addition, Hibah will be harus if the father does not have the intentions to cause defamations or danger among his children. In fact, the gift of tabdil, which is preferably one party over another, is only allowed if it does not harm anyone. Moving on to the third issues of granting Hibah when the sickness that can cause demise, which is Marad al-Maut, also has wide variety of polemic views. Prior to that, the conditions of Marad al-Maut need to be identified first. The conditions are, the first one, a disease that can actually cause demise. The second one, illnesses that can cause death anxiety in the patient's mind. And the last one, symptoms indicating that the disease is chronic and critical. Hibah when Marad al-Maut is a gift made in a state of illness that can lead to death. The effect of the Hibah at the time has a different implementations depending on the donor's conditions after giving, whether it will be a Hibah or a will. If the donor dies after the pronouncement, property is categorized as will and is subject to the will of law. In other words, it should not exceed 1/3 of the property of the deceased and does not involve the granting to heirs unless there is agreement from the heirs. But if the giver is still alive after the grant, then it will be Hibah.
Assalamualaikum and good morning, doctor and my friends. My name is Nur Atasha binti Hassan and my number matrix is 287028. Next is poor financial management. The final disadvantage of Hibah is poor financial management. For instance, grant recipient may not pay the debts of the deceased. This is truly happen for the too frequently. Consider the following scenario. The descendants bequeath a house in his will to his wife and children. The property's mortgage had the outstanding balance. When a person dies, a piece of the house is instantly handed to the heirs, while the other portion is granted to the surviving widow. Due to the issue over the ownership of the descendants' property, the widow has to decide to sell the house and use the money from the hibah to purchase a new house. During this time, the deceased man left a note for his wife asking her to pay off all the house debts.
Hi, my name is Anis Farzana binti Sharudin. My matrix number 278132. I'm going to present the issues and challenges of Hibah Takaful, which is the underage grantee. The underage grantee cannot receive any Takaful compensation money, and it was based on the law. The rule under the law is that a minor, a person under the majority age of 18, usually cannot make contracts. So if the grantee is a minor and they have not reached age 18, they cannot receive any Takaful compensation money. Imagine a 5-year-old child, they have to wait 30 years old more to have it. This should be avoided when registering Hibah Takaful plan. If you have made a mistake, you can consult an agent and change to other nominees which age 18 years old and above.
Grant recipient does concurrently with the policy owner. Being common in determining the nominee of the hibah, the husband puts the names of the wife puts the husband's name, but what happens if the both die simultaneously, like a road accident or infections of COVID? If that happens, all compensation will fall to Faraid. The question is, who will manage Faraid's management costs, and how do the children spend the period of the completing Faraid? How do you make sure the kids have the full hibah?
I'm going to present the opportunities of Hibah Takaful, which can provide you with child education fund. Children are our next generation and our most valuable asset in this world. It is our responsibility as parents to provide the best education for our children for the bright future. We certainly want them to learn comfortably in school and providing the opportunity to further their studies to a higher level. However, the rising cost of education every year make it difficult for parents to provide sufficient expenses. With Hibah Takaful, you are able to provide enough funds for your children to further their education, even if you are no longer with them. Plan your finances as best as you can. The earlier you contribute Takaful and Hibah to your hills, the lower the monthly contribution and the more secure the future of your children.
Next, the opportunities of Hibah Takaful is resolve Muslim inheritance issue. In contrast to a will and division of the estates, a hibah is unquestionable giving of a gift by a person to his or her heirs. This means that a recipient of the hibah is absolutely owner of the gift, whether in the form of cash or the property after the death of the owner. This can, of course, avoid quarrel between family members, as the nominal for the takaful is done by the participant while he is still alive and sent voluntarily. Additionally, the hibah takaful's claim process is quick and free. After losing someone you don't want to fight for your rights, hibah doesn't need a lawyer or the third party to manage it. Unlike a will, hibah is a gift and will be given in full. Hibah Takaful is also liquid asset, making it easier to and faster to claim this amount. Thank you.
To put in a nutshell, in Malaysia, the implementations of hibah has been highly received and is expanding at a rapid rate. This is bolstered by the presence of commercial firms in virtually all states that offer hibah's writing, preparations, and issue fixing services. Thus, it is undeniable that hibah can be used as supporting financial instruments for capital management estate, asset management, debt settlement, and income replacement. However, there are some drawbacks in hibah implementation, such as legal issues and poor financial management. In order to counter that, a comprehensive knowledge of the fundamental concepts and guidelines underlying hibah need to be taken need to be taken and understand seriously the process of hibah management. It is possible for a Muslim in Malaysia to have a better understanding of their rights in the event of a disagreement if the appropriate information and knowledge are properly disseminated. If it's done successfully, hibah can be granted opportunities such as being used as child education fund and resolve Muslim inheritance issues. That's all from me. Thank you.